Hey there, so I am live and we're talking today about the 31 days of live horror. And today's topic, Greek filmmaker Nico Masterakis. Now, for a lot of people, Nico Masterakis is going to be somebody that I forgot to put on my mic. Is wonderful. Okay, welcome again. Now that I can speak, now you can hear me. Tonight we're talking about Nico Masterakis. He's a Greek filmmaker, director that is probably best known for that film with that infamous scene in it. Which, hey Scooter, which we will get to. We will get to that scene and that film as best we can, tastefully. But Nico Masterakis made a lot of really good stuff. Hey Wheels, welcome back. Hey Javid, we are talking, and for people over, hey, from people that are really familiar with with Masterakis, I guess he's probably more famous and sometimes infamous in Greece. He's the guy that kind of helped bring television to Greece, as well as bringing pop music. He actually orchestrated the very first concert, like pop concert, rock concerts in Greece, which is kind of a cool aside. But we're here today to talk about his films, among other things. We'll see where we go from there. We'll start with that. Gone on 31 days? You'll catch up. Yesterday we talked about, do you remember, do you know what we talked about yesterday? It was fun. We talked about Fulci yesterday. That was actually a really good video, I gotta say. Thanks, guys. So, I got a couple of Nico Masterakis films here. One of them, the cases, I'm gonna have to sort of censor slightly because of the drawing on it. So this is, hey Galen, Island of Death by Nico Masterakis. Was the first one I bought. And you would think maybe after buying this, I mightn't buy any more. But luckily, I already knew his films. I just didn't realize, hey Charles, that I knew who he was. Because a long time ago, when I was young and renting VHS films at a local store next to my cousin's, I rented this film, Blind Date. And I talked about this one. You gotta go to Schwartz's next time, dude. I do like Juliet the Chocolate, though. I talked about this. With Deborah Shelton. I'm a huge fan of Deborah Shelton. Which Greek film are you talking about? So this one here is the first Nico Masterakis film that I think I saw. It stars actually a really Joseph Bobbs, who was a really popular soap opera actor, specifically for playing bad guys back in the day. And he stars in this one. He does a brilliant job. But I guess this is probably more famous for the other people in it that are probably bigger names than Masterakis, and there's bigger names than than Joseph Bottoms. And that is Kirstie Alley is one of the leads in this film, and you will see lots of Kirstie Alley in this film. Marina Sirtis, who played Deanna Troi on Star Trek Next Generation, is in this film as well. And also Keir Dullea. So a lot of famous people are in this one right here. Now, what makes this extra good as a release? I got to check that out. I don't think I got that one, to be honest with you, Javin. What makes this one extra good is if you don't know anything, and if you've never heard of Masterakis before, this is kind of the perfect jumping on point. And there's a specific reason for that. There's a featurette on here on the films of Masterakis, and it deals a lot with his early films. It's a long featurette, and I think it's around 45, 50 minutes, something like that. There's like scenes from all of his early films. He's being interviewed. He's talking about all of them. So this is a really good jump-on point for people that have never heard of his stuff before. More than likely you have. You just haven't realized that you've come across it. Brian Thompson's action film Hard to Kill, by the way, that's also Nico Masterakis. It's just we're talking horror tonight, not action films. But Masterakis did that as well. And Masterakis not only directed films, but he also produced a few. Be sure to check out the video, guys. But this one, this is really worth checking out. And I'll talk about it a bit more later. The other Nico Masterakis film that I got, Brian just mentioned. And it's Zero Buys. Now, when you look at this here, Zero Buys looks like your typical 80s action type of film. You can see Kelly Maroney in it. And this is a better blind, that's a good blind date. That's a better blind date. But this is a really cool, suspenseful film. It doesn't start out that way. I mean, it starts out with these kind of like these dude bro characters kind of being like, kind of doing their whole, you know, the shooting, you know, it used to be in back in the day. Is it still in, you know, the war games thing with the paint guns and stuff like that? There's a prolonged like action sequence with paint guns, and they try and make it come off like a, because I'm special. No, this was actually given to me by somebody actually that unfortunately, a guy named James, who I haven't seen on these videos in a long time. Like he's made comments, but I think he hasn't been on the live, which is a shame because nice guy. So the case was broken, so he gave me like a black case. He gave it to me in this black case, which I really like. I kind of dig this. You know, you guys know I love those Severn black cases. But yeah, this film starts out all actiony, and there's like shooting, and you know, there's kind of like the guys being guys, and you know, the girls are there. It's very typical 80s stuff. But when it gets to the point where it makes a big turn, like this film makes a huge turn, when all of a sudden they're in this like completely different environment, and there's these unseen killers. For most of the film, we have these unseen killers that are hidden in the shadows, that are watching them, that they've come upon this torture place. Well, where they torture and kill people. So it looks like what it comes across to me is like the people that they've come across a place where there's these kind of like backwoods type people that are probably making like snuff films, and that's probably what they're doing. They're selling snuff films, you know, for the underground market, and they make the mistake of going into a house where there happens to be, unbeknownst to them, a dead body right under their noses. It gets really, really suspenseful. Joe Estevez actually is in this film. You know, Martin Sheen's brother, and it's pretty much a silent role for him. But it's really, really good. The film is dripping with like atmosphere. Like it is filled with like with atmosphere and dread and suspense. And the good thing about this is you actually grow to like most of these characters. They do come off kind of one note when you first start to watch them, but as you start to talk to them, as you start to see them talk and react to each other more, you actually you don't want to see them die. So, oh, dude, you gotta change that, Sculptor. This is a really good film. I was really surprised the first time I saw this film. Yep, that's his uncle, because you know he's Martin Sheen's brother. And he looks like Martin Sheen. When Kelly Maroney, she's interviewed on this disc, was making this film, when she first got on it, she's like, "Oh my God, I didn't know Martin Sheen was in this movie." And like one of the people took her aside and said, "You know, that's Martin Sheen's brother," so because he does look a lot like Martin Sheen, especially in this film. There's some great features on this one here, dude. You got to get past the cover. This is an excellent movie. This is suspense. Like this is 110% an excellent suspense film. This is the original cover for the Zero Buys, by the way, which also makes it seem like one of those action films, like kind of like The Annihilators or Cut and Run, something like that. But it's better than both those films. It's better than The Annihilators. It's a better film than Deodato's Cut and Run. Cut and Run. To be completely blunt. And I like Deodato, but no, this is better than both of those films, and it's definitely more competently directed as well. Exactly. Think of this like basically 9mm with guns, with more guns, because these guys are like they're weekend warriors, paintball guys, and but what the guns that they use, hey Daz, the guns that they use, we're talking Nico Masterakis, are actually modified real guns. So and they have real ammo. The zero buys. See, Michelle can vouch for the zero buys. So when this gets going, you've got you got these guys, and their girlfriends, and they're going around with semi-automatic machine guns, and yet they're the ones in danger, because the killers in the movie, one has a big knife, has a machete, another has a crossbow, and you think, okay, well, there's just a couple of them, and there's altogether like 4, 5, or 6 of those guys, but no, the killers. This is what these guys have been playing more, and have been playing at killing people. These are killers. They have been killing people. That's their job. That's what they do. That's what they know. It's bred into them. And as great as it is to pretend, they're taken off guard when they're faced with the real thing. Well, it is a fantastic film. Hopefully, I'm hoping, Michelle, that if you've got zero buys, you got this. Because this is a must too, also by the same director. So that's zero buys. Blind Date is a very different film. It is a suspense thriller. It's got a serial killer. Does mine have the does mine have the booklet? Yes, it does. But she hated her hair at this point. And the writing on this booklet, who did the writing for this booklet? Let's find out for you guys. Is James Oliver. So this booklet is done by James Oliver. Let's see if there's a sequence with the killers here. That's a really good scene, actually. And they could have made this very, there's a part, there's one promotional ad for the film, and it says, kind of part deliverance type of thing. And it's not like the killers are, they're, the backwoods, killers, but they're not like that. The killers actually come across as very, in a weird way, kind of very sophisticated, and very, they're like kind of 2 steps ahead. They know they're playing with them. They play with them all through this film. They're desperately playing with these people because they know they can, because this is their territory. No, I mean, definitely a very different director than Michael Haneke. Haneke's films are experiences, and a lot of times a lot of Haneke's films are, for some people, one-watch films, much in the way that you'd see. Masterakis is different. He does his own thing, but he's really good. And Zero Buys has really, really good cinematography as well. There's certain sequences that are really going to stand out in this movie, and there's ones that are kind of just like gentle creep outs, but they're really good creep outs. When we first meet the torch room is a good creep out. There's a sequence where there's a couple making out, and the girl looks up and she sees an eye looking down at her from the ceiling. So it was kind of a Bob Clarke type feel when it comes to that. It's definitely something to check out. 110%. I 110% recommend Zero Buys. I don't want to give too much away. I'd say watch it. There's a couple cool twists in the film. The people that got killed were different than the ones I thought were going to get killed, which is always a nice plus. Even though on the commentary they kind of joke about, oh, this person's going to get killed, I kind of look towards a different person. Now with this one right here, this is by Scorpion Releasing. This is Blind Date. Joseph Bottoms plays a guy that he's a successful, I think, ad ad. He's a successful ad guy. Like he works on like with these beautiful models and that. And he sees a girl during one shoot that looks tremendously like a girl that he knew a long time ago, someone that he was in love with, that he was going to marry, that he was going to spend his life with. Unfortunately, something very violent happened to her. Hey, Danuch, welcome. Glad to have you here. And it ended up breaking them up. So he becomes obsessed, and he starts to kind of follow the girl around. He realizes, yes, this is that girl, and he kind of spies on her and her boyfriend one evening, and the boyfriend kind of catches him. So he runs away, and he ends up falling down this hill and hurting himself, and he goes blind. They have no explanation for his blindness, and it looks like he's gonna, first they think, oh, it's hysterical blindness, but maybe he could get better, but they don't know when or if, or maybe it'll happen, maybe it won't. Meanwhile, there's a serial killer going around killing girls, and the girls that end up kind of related to, looking a bit like his girlfriend, his ex-girlfriend. His girlfriend in the film here, the one that he's kind of seeing at the time, is Kirstie Alley, who has a. If you ever wanted to see Kirstie Alley at her peak, and you're a fan of Kirstie Alley, this is a movie to watch. Also, Marina Sirtis plays a prostitute in this film, and she's one of the victims. Although it has her name prominently displayed on the cover, she's actually one of the she has a small role, but again, if you want to see Marina Sirtis, you got to watch this film. We also get to see Keir Dullea as the doctor in this film, because he realizes that there's danger. That his ex-girlfriend is in danger, and that the killer may be going to eventually kill her. So the only thing that he can do is to try to get his sight back in the only way that he knows how. There's a very experimental procedure where they give him sight back, sort of. Basically, his eyes scan the room, and the kind of like you remember the old school, like the green like grid type computer animation that you'd see back in the day, of the advanced computer animation. So that's the way he sees things. It's almost like a sonar. And he does this knowing that once he does this procedure, he has no chance of ever getting his real eyesight back. This is the eyesight that he's going to have for the rest of his life. But he does this because he wants to move on with his life, and he wants to catch a killer. And that's what you need to know. That's pretty much all you need to know. There's a bunch of great actors in this one. You got to guess who the killer is. I don't think it's too hard. I think you'll figure it out. You guys are smart people. But you get to see the lovely Kirstie Alley and Marina Sirtis, I guess pre-Star Trek, for both of them, I think. Lana Clarkson is in this movie. It's got a great cast. If you ever wanted to know anything about like the work of Nico Masterakis, this is what you should be looking at, because the featurette on him is incredible. This is the director's cut, the original director's cut of the film. So this has, like, I guess, the nude scenes with Kirstie Alley that weren't in the original when I saw it. There's the original soundtracks here. There's a music video. And yes, there is reversible artwork, so we'll look at it. And that's Blind Date here. This is the VHS cover that I saw back in the day for Blind Date. That's what got me to look at this film. That and is that the actress with the weird eyes? Who? Kirstie Alley or Marina Sirtis? Just making sure it's not nudie on the back. Okay, so his most infamous film we'll get to right now, and that is Island of Death. Yes, I am censoring it with my fingers. Island of Death was shot in I think in Greece, like on a Greek island, and it's Is there a lot of nudity and sex in Blind Date? There's enough, yeah. There's a lot of a lot of girls, like he works with models and stuff like that, and like the lead actresses that would become kind of famous. In Blind Date, we know, yes, they do. So if you want to see those actresses naked, you will see them. But next up is On to Death. This is, as Brian understands, this is an odd film. I think he's better than D'Amato, though I do think D'Amato is underrated with a lot of the stuff that he does. Goat. Yes, there's a goat sequence. We'll get to that. Basically, Island of Death is about a seemingly couple that comes onto an island, and they go down this debaucherous road of like one thrill heightened after another thrill, which will eventually lead to murder and the downfall of at least one of them, and a shocking revelation. Also, these people are so, you know, when you see a film and it's got like, and they're normally like these kind of like these like super rich people, and they've gotten all the thrills, and they're still like 8mm or something. They're, you know, they just, nothing phases them anymore. That's what these people are like. This is what this couple is like. Dangerous Cargo. Thank you. Actually, I'm going to look that up because I'm a huge fan of, you know, I'm a huge fan of Deborah Shelton. Somebody asked a good question and I missed it. Yes, I know, I answered that. I answered there's a lot of nudity in there. On to Death has an infamous scene in it where where the male of the group, oh yeah, it's a video nasty dude, grabs a goat and proceeds to get his freak on. Now, the scene in the film, it's not, just so you know, so you don't freak or anything like that, it's about it's the fakest looking goat you're ever going to see. You could literally go into a kid's store and pick up a plush goat, and it would look more realistic than this one. But for its time, I guess it was, you know, it was a shocking scene, because even if it's, you know, it's a simulated thing, it's still like something that's gonna, you know, that definitely is out there to shock. It's meant to do that. My cat just like walked in the room, and he sees me talking at a screen, and we should be used to this by now, but he like just literally like stops in his tracks and like looks at me. He's like, well, not really, but yeah, that's what it's supposed to be. That, you know, that's like it's a very short sequence within the film, but that's what, you know, that's what they're pretending it is. Because they're so intense, because they're so like, because everything, they're just traveling down this like this whirlwind of debauchery that's going to lead to murder, that's going to eventually lead to their destruction, and you don't even know exactly how insanely off kilter and thrill-seeking and debaucherous, I guess, we'll use that for lack of a better word, unless somebody can come up with a better one, that they are, until like close to the end of the film. There's a big reveal. Because there is like a huge reveal on about the characters themselves. That was one of the first like Arrow videos. As you see this in Arrow video DVD, that I had a strange, but had a fitting ending though when you think about it. Like, and it had to kind of had to have that ending cool, because, like I mentioned, you know, in a previous video when I was talking about Mondo Macabre, Greek cinema has that kind of that, well, at least at that point, had that Hays Code mentality of they can't get away with it. You know, there's no ambiguous like, oh, look, the killer escaped type ending in Greek cinema. It's very much a morality play. So no matter how much happens, there has to be something. There has to be some type of like of retribution. So anytime you're watching like one of those Greek films that were in that time, you know the killer's going to get it, or something so bad is going to happen to the killer near the end of the film, because that's the way that the Greek cinema has been placed, has been portrayed, and it's one of the rules for their for cinema at that time. Masterakis was a famous director and an infamous director too, because he shot these interviews at one point. These students were like were protesting in Greece, and he was kind of hired to shoot interviews of the protesters, like in the prison, basically to say that they're okay. It was a propaganda type thing from the government. After the government was overthrown, it kind of came out, when the students got out, that they had been threatened and beaten if they didn't like go and do that interview. Now, did Masterakis threaten to beat them? No, it was like obviously the government, the Greek people. I haven't seen Lobster actually. Yeah, wait a minute. Yes, I've seen part of it. I also have not watched it all. So one of these days I'll get through Lobster. I hear it's good. Grandmother's House is one that he produced. Dawes, actually, he produced Grandmother's House, which was a really good film. If you guys haven't seen Grandmother's House, I'm sure Dawes can recommend it as well because he's actually seen this film. Now, let's just IMDb for any films that I missed by Masterakis that may be worth knowing. Because just because I don't have them don't mean that there's a... There we go. Blind Date comes up right away when I show that. Okay, let's look at the movies he's directed. He's directed like around 30 films. His latest one was done in 2018 called Mykonos, the Soul of an Island. Can I check it up? Definitely, I'm on... So he directed .com for Murder in 2002. Apparently he directed for Candid Camera from 1992 to 1992. So, okay, that's different. And The Naked Truth. I'm guessing that's the Greek version of that. He did Hard to Kill with Brian Thompson, Ninja Academy, which I'm sure some of you guys have seen, like a super cheesy movie. He, if you remember the movie Darkroom, was this put out by, which, it's said to be directed by Terrence O'Hara, actually was kind of directed by, supposedly directed by Nico Masterakis, kind of uncreditedly directed it. Movie Nightmare at Noon, which came out by Scream Factory, is another one done by Nico Masterakis. We always have a good evening there. Get yourself some Blind Date. You'll buy more of his films. So if you have ever gone to a store and noticed this Scream Factory, that's a Nico Masterakis film. Wings Hauser, Bo Hopkins, and George Kennedy. How can you not want that? He did Terminal Exposure. Sky High was done by him. That's actually a fun film. Blind Date, Island of Death was an early one. Okay, he did Candid Camera in Greece as well. So, but I don't see that one. So he didn't do Daily Cargo, but I'm sure it's whoever did it got to work with Deborah Shelton. So that's like super, super cool. And that's for films that he produced. He produced movies like Grandmother's House. He produced a movie in 1998 called Bloodstone. And of course, he produced one that a lot of people are going to know, whether they've seen the original edition of it or just one of the many kind of like public domain editions. James Earl Jones, Jose Ferrer film called Blood Tide. So if you remember Blood Tide, he was the producer of that as well. So he's had a pretty prolific career. And that are the films of Nico Masterakis. Normally by this time, one of you guys will like ask a question that'll get us into another topic, which is kind of what I expected today. But he's the former father-in-law of Brian Thompson, so that makes sense for him, like actually putting Brian Thompson as a star of an action film. What the hell should you watch tonight? I don't know. I watched an extra film today. I watched The New Kids, which is Sean S. Cunningham film, which I guess isn't really horror. It's kind of more of a thriller type, but I guess it kind of fits. Watch extra with your mom? That's kind of... Your mom a horror fan, I'm guessing. And he's the father of Isabella Masterakis, and I don't know if she's somebody famous, but I'm going to find out. Tall Grass I don't know if I've seen that one, to be honest with you. Okay, so she... I haven't checked that out yet. I will check it out, though. Wait a minute, Isabella Masterakis? Producer, camera, and electrical department. So... Is she? Oh, she was married to Brian Thompson. So his daughter was married to this actor right here, Brian Thompson, who I'm sure you guys have seen in pretty much everything, because Brian Thompson is one of those actors that he's done a ton of stuff. Absentia has a good one. Is that the one? Yep. I'm going to say you guys are super quiet tonight. What are you thinking of Severin? I'm actually curious. I got to watch some stuff for... But tomorrow is a much more open thing. Are you ready for the tomorrow's 31 Days of Horror reveal? This is going to be super easy for you guys. Because tonight I am watching some, well, tonight and tomorrow morning actually, I'm going to be watching some various horror TV shows. Hey Ryan, welcome, and welcome to the, thank you very much, and welcome to the Patreon Club as well. Welcome to the Movie Club Elite, the MCE. Ooh, I like that. I'm gonna use that. So tomorrow we're doing horror television. I'm going to be watching a few different horror TV shows, some different stuff, some Tales from the Dark Side, some maybe a little bit of, I might check out the first couple episodes of each of the slasher ones. I'm actually going to look at some Harper's Island as well. So we are going to look at horror, at TV horror tomorrow. There's a few that I want to look at. So rather than just make it one title, because I'm going to be watching various episodes of various different things, we've got a blanket topic tomorrow, one that I think is going to be really fun. Because everybody has their favorite horror that they saw on television, whether it was Duel. I'm actually going to be doing Killer Crocodile 1 and 2 next week. You like Z Nation? I can never get into it, Scholar. I know people that love it. American Gothic. Which American Gothic though, Northern? Because there's American Gothic with Gary Cole, and there's the American Gothic that came out later on. You know, that one season one with the Silver Bells Killer. Did I watch The Haunting of Hill House? I haven't actually seen all The Haunting of Hill House. I've seen like maybe the first episode. If you haven't checked it out, Northern, if you can find it, the other American Gothic is actually really good as well. They have some nice twists in it, and I think that the reveal of the Silver Bells Killer, like who it is, at the end of the season is actually pretty cleverly done. If you do watch it, let me know if you figure it out, because I would be curious. I will talk about that more tomorrow, though. Tomorrow we are talking television horror. Lots of that stuff. So we can talk about Hill House. We can talk about Masters of Horror. Wow, there are so many good ones to actually chat about. We can talk about like John J. York's still not put out Werewolf TV series. And of course, we can also talk about the new Creepshow series and get everybody's thoughts on that as well. But I won't do that right now. We're not going to do that right now. We're going to do that tomorrow. I want to make a whole video about that. And that is going to be one of my, hopefully going to be one of my longer videos. I've been trying to make these videos, I've been spacing them, like one kind of like one a longer one and then like one kind of a shorter one, so that you guys get a bit of room to breathe. Where it is 31 videos, there's 31 live videos that you guys are coming into. I don't want to bore you guys or like Get you guys burnt out. Yep, Shudder. The horror streaming service. There's 2 episodes out now. I've got Nightbreed, actually. Is there a new set coming out? I got the Scream Factory Nightbreed set. The one that had the theatrical edition and the director's cut. I know there's like something called a Cabal cut that I have seen, but I don't think I'd buy it. I wouldn't like spend a lot of money to buy like the Cabal cut. Have I seen the Swamp Thing series? Only the first episode. Oh, the Arrow one. Oh, I bought it from Scream Factory a while back. So I actually did a video about not going to buy it from Scream Factory. You want to watch something gross? Well, there's a few later Fulci films as well you can get into. I do try to watch Black Christmas on Christmas Eve or a Christmas Day. Usually Christmas Eve. The 1974 Black Christmas is usually my Christmas Eve film. I may change that up a bit this year because I am doing in December like at least a whole week or maybe 2 weeks called the Holiday Horrors Marathon that we can do together. Well, the reason actually is because they're in different regions. Like the UK don't get those releases. You know, all those are region locked, and to get that film over in the UK or like they don't get the Scream Factory releases. And to be honest, Arrow does a great job of like putting them out. Like Arrow, like for instance, Arrow put out like Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 years before it came out from Scream Factory, and now Scream Factory is it's putting out ones like their version of Road Games, which Umbrella did. Umbrella's playing it Cut, by the way, which I'm going to actually speak about in a minute. I'll tell you tomorrow my thoughts on Twilight Zone because I don't want to get into the TV stuff tonight because I do have that. That's my topic for tomorrow, and I want to like kind of burn myself before I start it. Umbrella recently announced that they're putting out the movie Cut. If you haven't seen it, it's actually a pretty cool film. It is available on Amazon Prime, so if you want to take a look at it, it is an Australian horror film. One of the stars of it is Molly Ringwald, of the Brat Pack fame. Basically, in Cut, there was this horror movie, the slasher film that was being filmed, and the guy that's playing the killer goes insane and he kills people and he eventually kind of gets killed himself. Years later, they're going to kind of remake the film, kind of like do a sequel remake. I can't remember which it is right now. They bring back Molly Ringwald, and unfortunately, when they start rolling that film again, the other thing they bring back the killer. It's a fun little film, and the trope has been used a lot since then, but I enjoyed Cut, and I think you probably would too. It was Nico Masterakis. He was a Greek, or he still is, I guess, a Greek filmmaker who made movies like Island of Death, Blind Date, the one, the horror film Blind Date, and The Zero Buys, which you really should check out if you haven't seen it, because it's a really good film, and it came by Arrow. Zero Buys is one of those movies that I think will be brought out in North America as well down the road. Because wait a minute, was Zero Buys a North American release? Was that one of their North American releases? Masterakis, I think, was born back in the 40s, actually, around 40, 41, 42, something like that. Let me check. 41. He's April 41. So definitely not a young guy. But trust me, Carlito, you'll be glad that when you do hear of him, because Zero Buys is an excellent film. Over in Greece, they owe the fact that they have rock music to them. He brought pop to the Greek radio. Come on. See, Nico Masterakis was a DJ at one point. And he did a lot of like radio shows. You sent me a couple emails? I haven't gotten it. If I got it, I didn't see it. On my... if you got the last one, can you resend it? I don't think I got it. Because like I'm looking right here. Because this is the email one that I use. Well, I got a couple emails that I use. One I use for work, one I use for for friends. But it's been a while. But I got a couple things on there, like Fright Rag stuff that just... I got a bunch of Fright Rags emails recently. And some stuff may got buried, like underneath that. Well, I'm picking up dangerous cargo. I'm thinking about it now. I'm a huge Deborah Shelton fan, so probably not right away. I can't afford it right now, but actually, eventually, yeah, eventually definitely will. Because I'm a huge... What is Adam and Eve? Oh. That's the... That's an adult thing, right? Sorry, guys, I'm not the... Sorry, just like a dream mail. I will text you back on that afterwards. I think Skype is probably the way to go. And I totally lost my train. But yeah, if you've never seen any of the Masterakis stuff, definitely check it out. And I recommend, if you can get it, I'm not sure if you're in North America or not. This one here has a great documentary on him, like talking about his early films. Am I picking up? I will eventually pick up American Werewolf for London. Not right away. If I and eventually I'll get RoboCop as well. Probably not right away. Well, it's kind of a documentary. It's like it's an interview, and they go through a lot of his early films. And it says part one, because he's got a bunch. He did 30 films, so they get through all his early stuff. But I really want to know about his later stuff as well. So apparently there's a second part, and I don't know if like Scorpion's putting out another edition of, or another like Nico Masterakis film, that the second part will be on. But I'm really intrigued, and I want to see the rest of it. But it's a fairly long like interview with him, and they go through a lot of his films. So if you really want like a kind of a crash course on Masterakis to learn about him and about like his early film career, you're going to get that on Blind Date. So that's a great release. Once you get to see some famous celebrities that are that in their early years doing nude sequences. You get to see a good film by Nico Masterakis, and you get a documentary there as well. Think they'll sell out? I hope not. The one good thing about a lot of this Arrow stuff selling out now, are any of those? No, you're not going to find Blind Date on Netflix. Like, I really don't think so. I don't think you can see many Nico Masterakis stuff on Netflix. Maybe Zero Buzz will pop up on Shudder sometime. Well, that was Vinegar Syndrome that did it with Dolomite. They put him like put over 4 discs. I do recommend buying it. Like, I'll be honest with you, because it's a damn good film, and the features are worth getting. Like, you're cheating yourself if you don't get it and like actually watch the features, because the features are good. Because I think like Blind Date was like $18 to buy when I picked it up. So this is definitely wasn't an expensive film at the time. Let's see. Right now on Amazon, and I think this may be on Amazon.com, I'm not quite sure, but Blind Date is $14.39. So at $14.39, I'm not even joking, guys. And if this is .ca, it's even better. No, it's Amazon.com. Blind Date is running for $14.39. So at that price, I think you can take the chance. Especially when you're getting like, you get like the director's cut. The theatrical cut is there as well. By the way, there's 2 cuts of the film there. There's the theatrical cut of this film as well. You get music videos, the films of Nico Masterakis. Kind of dirt poor. I know. Well, trust me. And that way, I know how you feel. You know how frustrating it is to be that guy that that sometimes because there's a lot of YouTubers and they every Tuesday or something they go out and they like buy a bunch of stuff. And I get asked sometimes, like, how come you don't do that? Because I can't do that. But I like to like try and pick and choose like really cool stuff that I like. I think it is. I mean, I really do. It's a fun little thriller. It's a I guess bit of slant of sci-fi if you want to put the like portion in there as well. You're gonna get like some decent features on there. Yeah, like check it out. Check it out. Watch a trailer maybe. Like check out the IMDb. I always say never go by trailers. Trailers are horrible to go by. But the fact that it's like running at $14, that's pretty good. Eventually, The Shining was really expensive right now. It's like almost $50 here in Canada. Oh no, like I like the like. Thank you. I like the look what I got types as well. I watch a lot of those videos. No, like I watch a few like the like if I see a video where a guy's going out to a stores, like going to stores or flea markets and stuff like that, if they're kind of got similar tastes that I got, or going to Dollarams and that, then definitely I definitely check it out. Read your comment above. I did actually read your comment. That's why I said the part about the dirt poor thing. But I do think it's worth it. Check it out. Like check out like a trailer maybe. If you can find it on YouTube, watch the first couple minutes of it. See if it's something that you like. See if it's something that you're gonna want to know more about. Used to buy 2 to 4 DVDs every week at the start of the 2000s. Me too. There was a time, guys, when I bought like a lot more than I buy now, or it seemed like I did. But right now, it just seems like everything used to come. There wasn't so many companies, and you could save up for such and such a movie coming out. Or you talked about like what back in the Hammer versus Amicus days, like that I did when I first came to here to Nova Scotia. I thought about picking those up and kind of in a more of a live kind of aspect of it. I was going to ask you guys if that's something that you're interested in. We could do like I could do like a video where we kind of like debate a couple studios. Like we will do one, like a live video with kind of a Hammer versus Amicus type of thing. Where we can actually talk about stuff like that. Actually, I have never seen .com for Murder. So I'll be honest with you. I'm honest, when I haven't seen something, Carlito, I haven't. So I don't know. Maybe if you find that online or something like that, or you see it somewhere, definitely let me know. Has there been money at partying? No, I get it. I can't I can't rag it. I get a lot of good stuff. Night and State is a good film, or yes. I think you'll enjoy it. It's one of the classics. But I wish I could tell you like .com for Murder. I really don't know. I've never seen the film. Dude, I read your comment. You just wait for sales. But the things, trip to Japan, just report. It does. I mean, like, well, when I went to London, that was my dream trip. Just wait, Japan is yours. Get Things first. Beyond the Seventh Door is a better film than Things. Just Things is just mind-boggling. You have to see it. Like I didn't buy Things for months before I went to London, and then I just went all out when I went there, and I had a blast. Not just buying movies, but actually just going on the London Eye, eating at different places, checking James Bond Museum out. It's worth it. I'm glad you mentioned Rafifi, Joey, because actually one of the films that we're going to be doing this month is Wax Mask by Sergio Stevoletti. And if you've seen Rafifi, then you know that it has Robert Hassan, who is the one of the stars of Wax Mask. So he's much older, but he's a French actor who's very popular. He was a very, very, very popular French actor, beloved. And my better half's a huge fan of his, and will buy anything that his name is on. So he's actually one of the stars of that. It's a cool one. I mean, like Wax Mask is it is a fun film. Some people, life is what happens when you're busy making other plans. John Lennon's right. John Lennon, by the way, was friends with Nico Masterakis. So there's another Nico Masterakis connection right there. Because Nico Masterakis was bringing music over to Greece, one of the people that he befriended was John Lennon. Other people were Aristotle Onassis and Robert Kennedy, people like that. So he had friends in high places, including the ingenious John Lennon, who went way too early. That got dark. As you can see, guys, I am up here tonight because other than blind, zero buys, man. If you don't have zero buys, grab this. This is excellent. Like even like Blind Date, it's a great first film, but Zero Buys I still think is the best film that he did. This is by far, I think, is his best film. Now it doesn't have the typical, like, nudity and stuff that some of these here things has. This does deal more with suspense and stuff. He did actually, no, it's good. Try to get all the actresses like to do like a nude scene in the film. And Kelly Maroney, of course, she's from Night of the Comet, by the way. He said to her, she said, okay, I'll do the nude scene. I'll do a topless scene for $500 more. And then he didn't ask anyone else to do a nude scene through Zero Buys ever again. Another really neat thing about this is Zero Buys has an amazing score. The famous composer Hans Zimmer, this is a score by him. This is an early Hans Zimmer score. So if you're a fan of of music and soundtracks, composers, then right here. Have we seen Shock? Are you talking about the Peter Cushing film? He's like with the Nazi zombies and underwater. Yeah, I got the blue, not the Blue Underground DVD edition of that one. Actually, it's really fun. Oh, this one, no, I don't. I should though. It is a pretty cool soundtrack. Well, it's Hans Zimmer, right? Well, I like that one. That was on the list. That almost made the list, by the way. But again, this is a cool edition. So if you haven't checked it out, definitely check it out. It's assistant director on Goldfinger. Actually, yeah, you're right. He was. You have met him. Now, the other one, Ryan, you may not have been here for, was All Into Death, which is a more infamous film. You look at that one. I won't say much on that one. But this is the DVD that came out from Arrow. I want to see if there's actually a picture that I can show you. I'm not showing you. Not that picture. Not that one. But she's nude. Damn it, man. Nudity. Yep. No, there's no pictures that I can show you from the booklet of All Into Death. I'm sorry. Shockwaves was the first. That's a cool one. I mean, it's got the guy from Flipper in it, right? I'm pretty sure it does, actually. The guy from Flipper is one of the stars of Shockwaves. Well, when I bring it up again, by the way, could you really? I hope not. I don't want to get flagged on this. I get hit recently. Some of my videos got demonetized, and it was very, very discouraging. to be completely honest with you. I was like, again? You get that thing, again? Thank you. Because I had to be sure. But no, definitely, if you want to see that, though, there's, I'm sure with the early Arrow DVDs, the booklets are usually there. That's what I usually find. If you go buy an Arrow DVD, but whereas the Blu-rays, the newer Blu-rays, you can't find the booklets a lot of times. But in the old Arrow DVD ones, you can still find booklets. The booklets a lot. Carradine. You're talking about John Carradine, I think, in Shockwaves. I think it's John Carradine. The Carradine that played Dracula the most. In so many films, he played Dracula, actually. Though he never gets credited as a Dracula actor, right? It is, I think. The new Gothic Tales, I think, has all the films, has all the movies, but it's been repackaged, and the book is what's missing out of it. But you'll still have all the films and all the features and stuff like that. Oh yeah, I mean, the Carradines? It was a famous movie family. Back in the day, John Carradine was he was the profile, one of the true greats. He's like the head of that family. So when you think of John Carradine, David Carradine from Kung Fu, Keith Carradine, Revenge of the Nerds, stuff like that. That's his kids. They were his kids. The thing, not the limited edition, but the thing is out there, right? The Kill Bill guy. You're talking about David Carradine. That's the Kill Bill guy. He's the son of John Carradine. One of the sons of John Carradine. Like the Barrymores, the Carradines are a legacy Hollywood family that are generational. That's Kung Fu, exactly. He did Kung Fu, and of course later on he did Kung Fu: The Legend Continues. It's a shame about David Carradine. He was a fantastic actor. He took on some roles that probably, much like John Carradine later on took on some roles, but you got to pay the bills, and he liked acting. When you can take the pebble from my hand. That is Cain. That is young grasshopper. Neither actually. There is rumors. I haven't seen Dr. Sleep yet, and I've kept from reading the book until I actually see the film this time. But I'm actually very excited to see it. So my thoughts are I can't wait to see it because I like Ewan McGregor. I'm a fan of The Shining, more so the book than the film, but I do like the film too. But it'll be interesting to see. Oh, I love Evil Tunes. Yeah, there was. I'm not sure if it did come out if it was true. There was rumors of autoerotic asphyxiation, accidental. I'm not sure if that was true or if that was just one of the many rumors. There was things that went around. That's what I heard. Black Robin. That's what I heard. But such a shame. Evil Tunes. I remember, and I'm gonna out myself here, and I'll be honest with you. Evil Tunes is a movie that I saw not because of the fact that there was tunes in it, because of the fact that there was David Carradine in it, but because one of the actresses in the film was a adult actress that whose films I knew quite well, and her name is Madison. So she is actually in Evil. I think she's on the cover of Evil Tunes, if I'm not incorrect. At least the VHS cover of it, she was on there. You know her when you see her. She's a gorgeous girl, dark hair. She did like a lot of more of the adult films. She was more in the adult industry, but she did Evil Tunes as well, and that's how I came across it. Actually, ended up liking it. That's the one, the Dick Miller scene. Do you know, Joey, that her name is Madison? If you look her up in Evil Tunes, you'll find her. I think they'll give you her last name, probably in Evil Tunes as well. But I know her under the name Madison because I know my, as you guys know, I know my adult cinema. Because I do not just watch one form of cinema. Madison Stone's her full name, right? Yeah. Wow. Small, 5'3", but fiery, sexy, and shapely raven-haired brunette Spitfire Madison Stone was born on January 12th, 1965. Became an active in adult cinema in the late 80s and wound up appearing in over 100 films. There's a great cast, by the way. If you've never seen Evil Tunes, like you got like Artie Johnson, Dick Miller, David Carradine, looking there, Monique Gabrielle. Of course, she was like famous for the day. Suzanne Egger, Barbara Dare. Barbara Dare, she's also a film actress too. So Barbara Dare's in this as well. I did not know. I got to rewatch this movie, dude. Thank you for my. Did and Michelle Bauer, of course. Now, did is that Don Doe? Okay, there's a lot of people in Evil Tunes, by the way, guys. Has Evil Tunes got a good release? I'm kind of curious now, because where did you watch Evil Tunes at? Is it given a good release? There's a small, surprising, super old DVD. There's something. See, you would think that Evil Tunes would be 100% on the radar of a company like Vinegar Syndrome. Like Vinegar Syndrome and Severin, both their ears should be pricking up right now because this is a release that would sell for them. Like, honestly, here, I just mentioned the cast. We talked about Evil Tunes a bit. Who here would pick up Evil Tunes if it came out? Like if Vinegar Syndrome said he had like a remaster of Evil Tunes coming out with a bunch of features on it and a cool cover, who would pick up Evil Tunes? To me, that's a day one for me. That's an automatic. Yes, I'm hoping to get the Godzilla one. I think I might be waiting until Christmas for that one. I won't be getting it right away. But it's one, both me and my better half are huge Godzilla fans. We love the last film, which didn't do very well. We were really surprised, actually. But we're definitely getting it. Fred on right, this... They did Evil Tunes on Blu-ray for a 25th anniversary. Oh, I remember that a while back. That's Retro Media, though, right? Like, nothing against Retro Media. I got a few of the releases. But I would love to see, like, I'd love to see Vinegar Syndrome edition of that film. I'm trying to think if Vincent have done anything with Fred Olen Ray. Because if they didn't, they really should. Because he's had a few. He's had a few that they would be able to that they'd be able to do. Like he's got a Don Doler film, The Alien Factor, that he put out on Retro Media. I got that one actually. That would look great up there with Night Beast. If you're a fan of like Don Doler and you're like you had fun with Night Beast, it is what it is. It's a cheesy film. Obviously, like Massacre Video put out The Fiend, but Alien Factor, definitely due for an upgrade. I'm still hoping and praying for a Sorority House Massacre trilogy box set, you know? Sorority House Massacre 1, Sorority House Massacre 2, and Hard to Die. Who doesn't want that on Blu-ray? I do. I know I really want that on Blu-ray. That's high up there on my list. Vinegar Syndrome and Severin, one of those two companies, got to do it. I mean, they got to do it. I think Scorpion Releasing had those films, or at least a couple of those films. But I so would love to see like them come out. How to Change the Hookers. Actually, 88 Films put a really good edition of that does, with some great features on it. It's a fun little film. One of those you can watch. I'm pretty sure it's 80 Films. I'm going to say it's 80 Films. I'm still waiting. Does anybody know Does anybody here getting the October package from Vinegar Syndrome? Because I am. I know that the 29th is a release date, but people that get the package, that buy the bundle, pre-order the bundle, usually get it sent out around 2 weeks before. I think that's correct. So I'm hoping that'll get sent out like pretty soon, because I want to be able to do those films for the 31 Days of Horror. Yeah, that's the thing. I want to like that. There's a few films in the box set, and I gotta watch those in order to do the videos on them. I'm really excited. I really want to do Unmasked 25 for you guys too. I think you guys are gonna have fun with that video. So that'll be a cool one as well. Dollhouse is incredible. I love Dollhouse. That's a really good one. I like the Cursed films. I don't think there's any of the Cursed films that I don't like. Dollhouse is really good. So is God, the time one. Remember the time one with the clocks and that was cool. I like the ending aspect of that one as well. Those Amityville films are really good. Like people usually kind of forget the Cursed collection, but for me it's a highlight. Like there's been so many Amityville films, or films that have just tagged on the name Amityville over the years. But the Cursed films, I do think they stand up. Like there's some that are cheesy, but I think they're extremely fun. They've had quality actors throughout that series. Not everybody's a great actor, but they do shove in some actually pretty big names. And it's going to be interesting. I'm excited about the October package. I'm excited about their Black Friday sale. All Blind Buys. So, Daz, you've never seen Unmasked Part 25, which I guess makes sense because that one didn't have a lot of. It does have 90s kind of video store nostalgia. Back in the day, Daz, you couldn't pick up a horror magazine when that movie was coming out, man. When that was being without seeing an article or a blurb on Unmasked Part 25. It was all over the place. You couldn't not see it. It was insanely for a movie that's not known very much now and kind of flew under the radar type of thing. It was extremely well marketed back in the day, Gore Zone, Toxic Horror, all those places, all those magazines and stuff. The Horror Fan, they all looked at they all did articles on Unmasked Part 25. And of course, it's about Beyond the Door 3, right? That's the one, Beyond the Door 3, which I'm really intrigued by. I don't remember if I've seen it or not. I think I have. That will also be a fun watch. Am I forgetting a film? I am forgetting a film, right? Oh yes, of course I am. Berserker. Yeah, we're all seeing Berserker for the first time. Or some of us are anyway. But that looks to be an interesting watch. So is everybody down with tomorrow being kind of like a TV horror day, where we're going to talk about all the horror TV shows? We'll just do some deep cuts, bring some deep cuts, kind of bring some stuff that you think some people might know. and we can actually like kind of like dive into stuff. We can hopefully expose each other to other. That sounds wrong. To horror like shows or horror films, because we're not to just talk. Won't just talk about horror TV shows. We're going to talk about some horror films too. TV horror is definitely a lost art. When I was growing up, and like in the 80s, like what time will I be on? I'm hoping to be on either around the time that I came on today, or maybe a little bit earlier. I will do a short video on Instagram and on Twitter to let people know when I'm coming on. I always try to do that now. Or if I don't do like a video on Instagram, I always put up a picture. Like I did tonight, I put up a picture on Instagram of like some Nico Masterakis films on a table with the thing they're saying. It's being done. I usually put it on the way it goes is I put it on my Patreon first, then I do a video on my on Twitter, and then I usually do a video or a picture on Instagram. I do sometimes do announcements on Facebook as well. It depends on like if I'm really trying to getting into the video. We will talk about those. So get your thoughts on all three of those. I don't have Monsters, the series. My kid does though. My oldest, my daughter, she has Monsters TV series. I'm so jealous. But I do have Tales from the Dark Side, and I did love watching Monsters. We'll talk about that as well. We'll talk about a lot of those shows. But there you go. Tonight, I have exposed you to the cinema of Nico Masterakis. Shoot, too bad. Well, hopefully you'll catch it after, or if you do get to pop in for a minute, pop in, say hi. Come in with the deep cut and go real fast. We can talk about stuff like American Horror Story, Channel Zero, that type of stuff as well. Well, it'll go whatever way you guys want to see it go, and that's the best way that I can put it. With these videos, they're live. We never know where we're going to go, where the journey is going to take us, and that is, for me, hopefully for you guys too. You can let me know. That's one of my favorite parts of doing the style video, is that I never know when I start this video what kind of journey you guys are going to take me on. And if these videos seem successful at all, again, and I will reiterate it and state it, it's definitely because of you guys. I'm just a small part and parcel of it. Harper's Island is one of my favorites. We will talk Harper's Island. I love that show. I even used to watch the web series. I even watched the web series that came on before. Luckily, all the episodes of the web series from Harper's Island actually came with the set. If you got it, I'll get a bunch of my TV shows together, my horror TV shows, like box sets. That'll bring them up. We'll talk about them as well. So I'll have a few that we'll look at. But there you go. Tonight we talked about Nico Masterakis. Hopefully I've convinced you to at least dip your toes in and check out one of his films. Blind Date, actually pretty inexpensive if you want to check it out. But Black Mirror is a fantastic one. It's a modern day Twilight Zone. Zero buys, if you can get zero buys, or if you see zero buys, I'm not sure if it's on Shudder or not, check it out. I mean, really, it's an extremely underrated film. If you've ever watched Night of the Comets, you're a Kelly Maroney fan, you're going to get to see more of her. Not more of her like that way, but you're going to see more Kelly Maroney goodness in Zero Buys. And if you're really daring, you can check out All Into Death, but I recommend looking it up first so that you know some of the themes and stuff that's going to be in the film. Anyway, I am Aaron. This is not my movie library. This is my movie watch room. My movie library is downstairs, but it's freezing this weekend, so that's why I'm up here. I may be up here tomorrow, but I'll try to go in a different place, a different position, so you'll actually see. Channel Zero. It's creepypasta is. Well, I'll tell you tomorrow. I'll tell you about Channel Zero tomorrow. It ran 3 seasons, and it's on Shudder, so if you want to check it out, you can actually give it a shot. Candle Cove's the first season. I'm Aaron. You guys are the Movie Club. You guys rock. And I will see you again next time, because just like Daz said, it is 110% time for tea. Thank you so much for joining me tonight for another 31 Live Days of Horror. Have a fantastic night.